Hey, I'm Rachel J, and this is Cultivator Kitchen. Today we are making one of my absolute favorite tea blends, and I call it the 4 Seasons tea. There's an ingredient that I gather from each of the 4 seasons throughout the year, and I absolutely love this. It's very mild, it's very grounding and calming and delicious. So I hope you guys are going to absolutely love this recipe. And I shared a long time ago that I grow a lot of my own tea, and you guys have loved that video, and I love all the comments on it with the kind of teas that you grow. So this one is for everyone that really enjoyed that tea video and wants to know what I do with these and what kind of combos I can make. And here's just one of many options. Here are the ingredients that we're going to use today. And I also like to use these loose leaf tea bags that are chlorine free, biodegradable, and I get these in bulk and they last a really long time because there's a lot. This goes right in the compost, which is very handy if you're making this for a serving for one person. If I'm making this tea for multiple people, I'll just throw all the ingredients in the pot, boil them together, and then strain it with a metal strainer. So there's really no wastage, but I find that these are very handy if you can get your hands on them. I will link to these below so you can get the exact ones that I have, and hopefully that helps you guys out. So the first one is probably my favorite tea of all time. This is raspberry leaf, and I grow raspberries in my garden. You guys have seen those in lots of videos. They come back every year, which is amazing. And in addition to delicious fruit twice a year, in the spring, I pick the young green leaves before the plants have fruited, and I get the best tea out of this. It is one of my absolute favorites. It's very hormone healing for both men and women, but especially for people who menstruate. And it tastes like a light green tea. It's not fruity like you might think because it's from the raspberry plant. It is actually like a mild green tea, and it is one of my favorites. I drink this a lot by itself as well. I pick this in spring, I dry it. I will link to the video where I show you guys how I dry all of my herbs for tea so that you can check that out. The next is summertime. So I grow a lot of calendula, which are these pretty orange and yellow flowers in my garden. They're very prolific, very easy to seed save, and while they are an annual in my garden, they reseed themselves every year. These are really mild. They don't add a strong flavor to the tea, but they are really, really good for you and super tasty as well. So that's the ones I harvest all summer long. I dry those in the same way I dry all my leaves, and I keep them in mason jars in my tea cabinet. Then we have fall. This is the only one out of the lineup I'm currently not growing myself, and I just don't have the space for it, but I hope one day I can grow oats. But this is oat straw. So in fall, after they've harvested the oats that you eat as a grain, all these beautiful oat straws are left over that has a really awesome flavor. This is just very grounding. It's a great stress relief tea. It tastes so good. It has a lot of silica. It's just an amazing one to include and mix with other things. If you haven't tried oat straw tea, I'm obsessed. I love it. So I buy this in bulk, organic from Frontier Co-op. And it's great too that these, the raspberry leaf and the oat straw is parts that maybe you didn't think to use from that plant, and some people would have thrown it away, but it's really, really good for tea time. And last but definitely not least is ginger. This is the one I'm including for winter. The most popular video on my channel is about how I grow my ginger indoors in the winter, and I didn't expect that video to do well at all. It took me a lot of months to film it, and now I wish I could go back and do it better because it kind of has a lot of questions on it. But this is very easy to grow it in home, indoors, and it tastes amazing. It's also a very grounding, very anti-inflammatory one to include. If you want your tea more mild or you're traveling and you want to pre-pack it, sometimes I do just the 3 and leave the ginger out. But I think especially this time of year, I like to include ginger whenever possible. So I'll use a little chunk off of this and just slice it up and use it fresh. So those are the 4 ingredients, spring, summer, fall, and winter, that we're going to use. So go ahead and grab a mug of your choice. This is one of my very favorites. It's a little mosaic mug, which is kind of fun. And then one of our compostable biodegradable tea bags. The first thing I'm gonna put is just a few, 2 or 3 of the calendula flowers. Then I'm going to take a few of my raspberry leaves. I am going to crush them a little to get them into this bag. It's going to infuse a little faster and it won't poke through the bag. Then I'm just going to pour a little bit of oat straw on top. Oat straw is really nice. It kind of filters down into the tea mix, so it's a good one to put at the end. I put about a teaspoon of that in there. So you're just kind of eyeballing it, making a little satchel for one, about the size that you would normally have a tea packet. And last but not least, I cut about 1 inch of ginger. I skinned it and chopped it up. We're gonna get that into here as well. Shake it on down, and there you go. For herbal teas, I like to go ahead and cover them with just any lid you have laying around. And I'm gonna leave that for 10 minutes. Herbal infusions, I like to leave for a lot longer than you would green or black tea. So see you in 10 minutes. All right, our tea is all ready. It's a nice golden color. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Now, if you want, you could reserve this tea bag and make another cup with it. I like to do that, get at least 2 servings out of it. So I'll kind of squeeze it out a little bit and then just put it to the side near my hot water pot so I can make another one. I hope you guys are gonna make this delicious 4 seasons tea, maybe grow some of these yourself in your garden in 2023 and enjoy. This is one of my absolute favorites. As I mentioned, it's very hormone healing. It's good for de-stressing, and really it just tastes good. So I hope you're gonna love it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.